Listen to me carefully, and don't you dare look away, because right now I am going to hurt you. But this pain is the only thing that can save you from the catastrophe already standing behind you, breathing the chill of the grave down your neck. If you have reached the age of 40 and you still believe the fairy tale that the state will take care of you when your teeth fall out and your knees grow weak, then you are not just naive. You are committing a slow, agonizing financial suicide. And the most terrifying part is that you are doing it with a smile on your face, considering yourself a responsible citizen. You look at your pay slip, you see the pension contributions column, and your brain, that lazy traitor, whispers a sweet lie. Everything is fine, I'm saving for the future. There, in the depths of a giant state vault, lies my pile of gold with my name on the tag. Do you feel a warmth in your stomach from that sense of security? Well, that isn't warmth. That is the heat from the bonfire where your hopes are currently burning and you are the one tossing the wood onto it. Do you think I'm exaggerating? Do you think I'm just another city madman scaring people with the apocalypse? Fine. Let's perform an autopsy on your illusion right here on this table without anesthesia. Do you believe there is a contract between you and the state that you pay today to receive tomorrow? This is the first and most fatal mistake you make. No contract exists. There is only a law, and laws are written by people who need your money today to plug the holes in the budget they tore open yesterday. You think your contributions are investments? You're an idiot. It's a tax. It's a tax on your belief in miracles. The money you paid last month didn't go into your account. It wasn't invested in stocks, gold, or real estate. It vanished the very second it left your accounting department. It was used to pay the pension of your neighbor who retired 10 years ago. You aren't saving. You are supporting strangers, hoping that when your time comes, someone else, not yet born, will support you. And this is where the real detective story begins. A plot that will turn your hair gray before its time. You are participating in the grandest, most cynical, and most massive Ponzi scheme in human history. One that makes Charles Ponzi and Bernie Madoff look like children playing in a sandbox. What is the essence of a pyramid scheme? Payments to old participants are provided by the influx of new ones. As long as there is an influx, there is an illusion of prosperity. But you know how all pyramids end, don't you? They don't just crumble, they collapse, burying under the rubble the last people who managed to bring their money to the cashier. And guess who those last people are? Go to the mirror. You are looking at them. You are the generation paying for a banquet to which you were not invited. You are paying for the tables where others are sitting, and when you finally grow hungry and approach the counter, they will tell you, "Sorry, the kitchen is closed, the chef quit, and the food was stolen." Do you feel the ground slipping from under your feet? Wait, I haven't even started yet. Do you think you have rights? That you've earned your seniority, your points, your coefficients? What touching stupidity! In the world of finance, there is a concept called property rights. If you have money in a bank account, you can withdraw it, bequeath it, or gift it. It is yours. Now, try going to the pension fund and saying, "I've changed my mind. Give me back my contributions from the last 20 years. I'll manage them myself." Do you know what they'll say? They will laugh in your face because that money doesn't exist and you have no rights. You only have a promise. And a politician's promise is worth less than the paper it's printed on. because paper at least has a heating value if you burn it. You traded real, live money, money that could have worked for you, created assets, fed your children, for air, for ephemeral points in a database that could be reset tomorrow with a single keystroke and called a reform. Did you think the scariest thing was a small pension? No. The scariest thing is the realization that you voluntarily handed the steering wheel of your life to a blind driver. You are sitting in the passenger seat. The car is hurtling toward a cliff, and you comfort yourself by saying you're wearing a seatbelt. That belt won't save you. It will only strap your corpse to the seat. You tell yourself, but the state can't screw everyone over. That would cause a riot. Oh, you know history so poorly. States screw over their citizens with enviable regularity, and they call it patriotism. They change the retirement age, they change the formulas, they freeze the savings portions. Did you think these were temporary difficulties? No. This is the systematic dismantling of your illusions. They are cutting off pieces of your hope one by one, like the story of the dog whose tail was chopped off in sections so it wouldn't hurt as much. Does it hurt yet? Or are you still under the anesthesia of stability? Let me flip your reality upside down so you finally wake up. Do you think you are a victim of deception? That evil officials confused you? No. You are an accomplice. You are the main culprit in this tragedy. Because you knew. Somewhere deep in your soul, in that dark corner of your consciousness where you're afraid to look, you always knew there was no free lunch. You saw how current pensioners live. You saw them counting pennies at the supermarket checkout, choosing between milk and bread. You saw that fear in their eyes. And what did you do? You told yourself, it will be different for me. On what basis? Are you the chosen one? Do you have different mathematics? No. You are just a coward who is afraid to look the truth in the eye. You preferred a sweet lie to the bitter truth because the truth requires action, while a lie allows you to sit on the couch and watch TV series. You made a deal with the devil. You give him your responsibility, and he gives you a sense of peace. But the devil always comes for payment, and the payment is your old age. You thought the pension fund was a guarantor of stability. It's a hospice for your finances. You are sending your money there to die. Every ruble you sent there died for you. It will never return with a profit. It won't even return in the same volume. You are financing your own poverty. You are building the prison you will sit in 20 years from now. And every month you, with your own hands, are cementing another brick into that wall. And now, when I see panic appearing in your eyes, I will ask you a question that should sound in your head like an air raid siren. If the system doesn't exist, if the vault is empty, if the pyramid is shaking and you are standing at its base, what are you going to do tomorrow morning? Will you continue to wag your tail and hope the master throws you a bone? Or will you finally understand that there is no master, the house is empty, and you are not a dog, but a wolf who has forgotten how to hunt? But don't rush to answer, because the answer will require what you have avoided your whole life, admitting that you were a fool. And that hurts. But that pain is the only chance to survive in a world where promises are worth nothing and numbers never lie. Are you ready to find out how deep the rabbit hole goes? Or do you want to go back to the Matrix? Let's set emotions aside like dirty laundry and pick up the scalpel of cold, impartial arithmetic, because only numbers cannot lie. Unlike those smiling faces on TV screens talking about stability. You think the pension crisis is the result of someone's ill will, corruption, or bad management, and that if we just put the thieves in jail, the money will magically appear? What delightful childish naivety for which you will pay the highest price. The problem isn't that someone stole your pie. The problem is that the bakery burned down and the bakers died of old age. Yet you continue to stand in line with a plate, waiting for seconds. Do you want to know the name of the real killer of your pension? It's not the president, not the finance minister, and not even a greedy banker. The killer is demographics, and she works slowly like a boa constrictor, tightening the coils around the economy's neck until its eyes pop out. You think the system is broken? No, it's not broken. It's obsolete, like a steam engine in the age of nuclear physics. When Otto von Bismarck invented this brilliant scheme in the 19th century, he was a cynical genius because he knew one secret you're missing. People died before they could get their money. The retirement age was set at a level that only a few reached, and the system was in surplus. It was swimming in money because it was a lottery where only the organizer won. But then something happened that no one planned. We learned how not to die. We conquered the plague, smallpox, and famine. We invented antibiotics and pacemakers, and suddenly it turned out that happy old age lasts not 2 years before death, but 20 or 30. Do you understand what this means for the cash register? It's a catastrophe. You live too long? Does that sound cruel? Absolutely. But the calculator doesn't care about your humanism. It only sees debits and credits, and the credit is bursting at the seams. Now look at the other side of the equation, and there you will see the real guillotine, its blade already beginning to fall. Who is supposed to pay for this banquet of longevity? Your children. But where are they? Look at the birth statistics, and your hair will stand on end if you know how to add 2 and 2. We stopped having children. We chose comfort, travel, and careers. We chose to live for ourselves. And that is a wonderful choice, but it has a price they forgot to mention in the life brochure. When this pyramid was created, there were 10, think about it, 10 young, strong, healthy workers for every pensioner. It was easy. Everyone chipped in a coin, and Grandpa could buy a coat. Today, that ratio is heading toward 2 to 1. 2 tired, debt-ridden workers are carrying one sprightly pensioner on their shoulders who demands quality medicine and a decent standard of living. But do you think this is the bottom? Oh no, the bottom is still ahead. Soon, very soon, the ratio will become 1 to 1. 1 worker for 1 dependent. Can you imagine that tax? Can you imagine how much needs to be taken from your son to feed you? 50%? 60%? Do you think he will agree? Do you think the youth will silently put their necks under this yoke? This is where the plot twist lies that will make your vision go dark. This isn't an economic crisis, it's a generational war. And in this war, you are the losing side because you have neither the strength nor the numbers. The young will simply refuse to pay. They will go into the shadows, they will leave, they will choose crypto, they will do everything to stop feeding this insatiable dying machine. And the state, choosing between rioting youth and silent old people, will always choose the former, because the former have the energy to topple the government, while the latter only have heart pills. Are you still hoping for the National Welfare Fund? Do you think there's a secret stash somewhere that will save you on a rainy day? That is the funniest joke I've heard in the last 50 years. Money in a stash is just numbers in a computer. A pension is not money. A pension is goods and services. It's the bread the baker baked, the electricity the engineer generated, the bedpan the nurse carried out. If there are physically too few bakers, engineers, and nurses, no amount of trillions in an account will make bread appear out of thin air. You cannot eat money. You cannot shield yourself from the cold with banknotes. We are entering the era of human scarcity, and in this era, the cost of human labor will skyrocket, while the value of your savings in state currency will drop to zero. Do you think I'm scaring you? I'm simply describing the weather outside while you're preparing for a picnic in shorts during a blizzard. You look at Japan, at Europe, and think, well, they're managing somehow. They aren't managing. They are printing debt. They are borrowing from the future to pay for the present, but that credit card is already glowing white hot. The pension fund bubbles across the world are inflated to the limit with promises that are mathematically impossible to fulfill. It's not a question of if, but when. When this bubble bursts, the shock wave will wipe out the entire middle class, turning it into a new proletariat that has nothing but debt and memories of a better life. But here is what should truly deprive you of sleep tonight. Do you think the problem is only about money? No. The problem is physical reality. Imagine a world full of old people, but no doctors, because the last ones left for places that pay more, or they simply weren't born. You will sit in your apartment with a stack of devalued money trying to call a plumber, but the wait list for him will be 6 months long because a plumber is now the elite, a rare resource. The demographic pit isn't a graph in a textbook. It's empty jobs, closed hospitals, cold radiators because there's no one to fix them. Are you preparing for poverty? No. You should be preparing for helplessness. Do you think technology will save us? That robots will change our diapers and cook our soup? This is a favorite fairy tale of futurists to keep you from panicking. Robots cost money, huge amounts of money. Who will buy you that robot? The state, which has a hole in its budget the size of Jupiter? Or you on your miserable pension? Technology will exist, yes, but it will belong to those who own capital, not those waiting for a handout. Robotization will only widen the abyss between those who have assets and those who only have work history. Your history means nothing to a robot. Do you feel the taste of the air changing? That's the smell of burning. It's the social contract you thought was unshakable, going up in flames. I work, I pay taxes, and then I rest. This deal has been unilaterally terminated. They just forgot to notify you because they fear a panic. They will drag it out until the end, raising the retirement age to 70 to 75, until dying at your workplace becomes the norm. Do you want to work until you're 80? Do you want to die at a machine or a monitor? If not, then why are you acting as if you have a backup plan? You don't. You are walking a tightrope over an abyss with a blindfold on, and it seems to you that the solid ground beneath your feet is infinite. No, I see the edge, and it is much closer than you think. Do you think you've understood the scale of the tragedy? No, you've only seen the tip of the iceberg, because I've saved the most terrifying part for last. Do you know what happens to a society when there are more old people than young ones and there isn't enough money for everyone? Cannibalism begins. Not literally, of course. We are civilized people. Financial cannibalism, inflation. It's a way to eat your savings without physically reaching into your pocket. But we will talk about this mechanism of destruction next, and believe me, it's even worse than the demographics. For now, I want you to freeze with one thought. There are no people. There are physically no people to provide the old age you've painted in your dreams. You are alone, and the faster you accept this icy loneliness, the better your chances of survival. Are you still waiting for a lifebuoy? Look down. You aren't in the water. You are in free fall. Now close your eyes and imagine the worst nightmare that could happen to your wallet. Do you think it's a default? Do you think it's the moment the president stands at the podium, spreads his hands and says, "There is no money. Sorry, we are bankrupt"? If you are waiting for that, you are unpardonably naive, and this naivety will cost you the rest of your life. The state will never, hear me, never openly admit to being bankrupt, because that is political suicide, and politicians love their seats more than your life. They won't say no to you. They will say yes. They will pay you every last cent. They will shower you with money. You will receive millions, billions of rubles, dollars, or euros. But here is the twist that should make your blood run cold. The moment you receive that money, you'll be able to use it to wallpaper your toilet, because real wallpaper will cost more. We are entering the inflationary bonfire zone, and this is not an accident or a system error. It is its defense mechanism, the pressure relief valve through which your hopes are vented to prevent the boiler of national debt from exploding. Do you think inflation is just when sausage gets more expensive? What sweet provincial stupidity. Inflation is when the state reaches into your pocket without touching your wallet. It is a tax that no one voted for, but everyone pays, especially the poor and especially the old. It is the perfect crime because it has no fingerprints. You see the price tags rising and you blame greedy merchants, oilmen, masons, anyone, but the real criminal, the printing press, which works 3 shifts to pay for promises that are mathematically impossible to fulfill. Are you still holding on to your savings in the bank? You look at the interest rate and think it covers inflation. You are living in a hallucination. Official inflation is a lie wrapped in statistics and served to you for dinner under the sauce of stability. They change the calculation methodology every time the numbers become frightening. They remove meat from the basket and add streaming service subscriptions. They tell you the hedonic index justifies the price hikes. But your stomach doesn't eat iPhones. It needs food. Real inflation is how much more expensive your life has become just to stay at the same level of quality. And that figure is 2 or 3 times higher than what they tell you on the news. Your money is melting like an ice cube in an oven, but you keep looking at a thermometer that someone has rigged to show a comfortable temperature. But let's dig deeper to where it gets truly scary. Why are they doing this? Why are they destroying the currency? Because they have no choice. It's zugzwang. State debts are so massive that they cannot be repaid honestly. If they raise taxes, there will be a revolution. If they stop paying pensions, there will be a riot. What's left? A soft default? Inflation. They devalue the debt. They borrowed heavy, solid money from you 20 years ago, but they will pay you back in play money that can't even buy a box of matches. You are the lender of last resort, and you are being prepared for a write-off. You thought you were an investor in the state? No, you are the sacrificial lamb. Can you smell that? It's the smell of burning paper. It's your labor hours, which you preserved in the form of money, burning. Did you work in 2005 to save for old age? Those hours of work, that sweat, those nerves, they have been destroyed. Inflation ate them. You worked for free. You are a slave who thought he was saving for his ransom, but the master changes the price of freedom every year. And the worst part is that you are to blame because you believed in money as a measure of value. Money is not a measure of value. It is a medium of exchange, and when there is too much of the medium, it ceases to be valuable. This is the law of supply and demand, which neither Parliament nor King nor God himself can repeal. But here is the plot twist that will make you doubt your own sanity. Do you think inflation hits everyone equally? Do you think we are all in the same boat during the storm? What a monstrous mistake. Inflation is a wealth redistribution mechanism. It takes from those who hold money, you, the future pensioners, and gives to those who hold assets and debt. The rich love inflation. Do you know why? Because their assets, factories, real estate, stocks, appreciate along with inflation. Meanwhile, their debts devalue. If I owe the bank $1 million and inflation turns that million into the cost of a loaf of bread, I win. I become richer at your expense. You, the savers, are paying for the banquet of the debtors. You are the fuel for my rocket. Do you think this is unfair? The world doesn't care about fairness. The world runs on mechanics, and mechanics dictate he who saves in scrap paper always loses to him who owns real things. Are you planning to retire with a stack of paper? Are you going to go to the store and say, "But I saved my whole life"? The cashier won't care. The economy won't care. You will simply be run over by the steamroller of history, and no one will even notice the crunch of your bones. You will become a millionaire digging through a dumpster. Remember the Weimar Republic. Remember Zimbabwe. Remember the 90s. You think that's somewhere else? It is here. It is now. The process is just stretched out over time so that you don't jump out of the window immediately, but boil slowly, like that famous frog. But wait, you're probably thinking, but there's indexing? The state will raise pensions. Oh, that sweet lie, that morphine for the dying. Yes, they will raise them. They will give you 5% when prices have risen by 20%. They will always lag behind. It's a race between a tortoise and Achilles. Only Achilles is the prices, and he's on steroids. Indexing is a handout to keep you from starving to death right in the square in front of the administration building, because that ruins the photo op. Their goal is not your comfortable old age. Their goal is your quiet, invisible poverty, so that you sit at home, watch free channels, and don't make a scene. Are you starting to realize the trap you're in? You are locked in a burning house, but you're being told it's just a beautiful light show. You're holding melting icicles in your hands and calling them capital. You're hoping in a system designed to rob you. And now, as your brain begins to panic, as you realize that money, as you understand it, is a fiction, the most important question arises. A question that should ring in your ears like a death knell. If the money is burning, if the state is lying, if demographics are against you, where do you run? Where is the ark that won't sink in this flood of printed paper? Do you think there is no answer? That there is no way out? That you are destined to live out your days in squalor? If you think that, then you truly are doomed. But I am not here to sing your funeral dirge. I am here to slap you across the face and bring you to your senses. There is a way out, but it will require you to kill the commoner within you. It will require you to stop thinking like a saver and start thinking like an owner. Are you ready to find out what that means? Are you ready to learn that the only salvation from the fire of inflation is to become the fire itself? Or would you prefer to burn along with your paper illusions? Because the next step isn't just a step, it's a leap across an abyss, and most of you will be too afraid to take it. Know those who do? Oh, they will see a completely different world. Now wipe the cold sweat from your forehead, stop trembling like an aspen leaf in the wind, and listen to me as if your ability to eat something other than dog food in 20 years depends on it. We are done with the diagnosis, and it is terminal if nothing changes. But I am not here to read the last rites over your future. I am here to give you the blueprints for an ark, while the rest continue to dance on the deck of the sinking Titanic. Do you think all is lost? Do you think that at 40 or 50 it's too late to start building capital? That is another lie your lazy brain uses as an alibi for doing nothing. You have 20 years. 20 years is an eternity. In the world of finance, if you use them with surgical precision, but it's a heartbeat if you continue to act like a frightened ostrich. Are you looking for a savior? Are you waiting for a new politician, a new law, or a kind wizard? Go to the mirror. See that face with the first wrinkles and the fear in its eyes? That is your only savior. There will be no one else. The cavalry isn't coming. You are the cavalry, and if you don't saddle your horse right now, you will be trampled. Do you think I'm going to suggest you save on coffee and put pennies in a jar? You've mistaken me for someone else. Saving is a strategy for the poor who plan to stay poor. You cannot save for old age by clenching your fists and denying yourself joy, because the inflation we talked about will eat your savings faster than you can make them. The secret is not to save money. The secret is to get rid of it. Yes, you heard me right. You should feel a disgust for cash. As soon as money hits your hands, it begins to rot. Your task is, immediately, that very second, to exchange that rotting paper for something that doesn't rot, for something that grows, for something that has a pulse. We are talking about assets. You must stop being a saver and become an owner. This is a quantum leap in consciousness that separates the victim from the hunter. The saver hopes that money will retain its value. The owner knows that value is only retained by business, land, and concrete. Imagine a fortress. Your old age is a besieged city. The enemies, inflation, disease, infirmity, the state, are at the gates. You have 20 years to build the walls. Every dollar you spend on a new iPhone, on a brand name rag, on a car you can't afford, is a hole in your wall. You, with your own hands, are opening the gates to the enemy. But every dollar you invest in shares of reliable companies, in real estate, in index funds, is a granite block you place in the foundation of your defense. Do you think it's complicated? Do you think you need to be Warren Buffett? Nonsense. You just need to be a disciplined boar. You must fall in love with boredom. Investing is not a casino where you hit the jackpot and scream with delight. Real investing is like watching paint dry or grass grow. If you're having fun investing, you're probably losing money. You must buy stakes in businesses that produce real things for real people. Food, energy, transport, housing. People will always eat, sleep, and turn on the lights. Crisis, war, pandemic, it doesn't matter. If you own a stake in a bakery, inflation works for you because the price of bread rises. If you just hold money, the price of bread kills you. Feel the difference? But here is where the real drama begins. The plot twist that will make you doubt reality. Do you think the hardest part is picking the right stocks? No. The hardest part is understanding the magic of compound interest, which your brain refuses to perceive. You heard about compound interest in school, but you didn't understand it. You think linearly, 1 plus 1 more 2. Compound interest is an exponential. It is a slow-motion atomic bomb. In the early years, you won't see anything. You will be saving and investing, and it will seem like nothing is happening. Your pile of stones will grow agonizingly slowly. You will want to quit. You will say, "To hell with this, I'd rather buy a trip to Turkey." And that will be the moment of truth. Because at that very moment, when it seems pointless, the tipping point occurs. The curve begins to bend upward. Money starts making money without your participation. Your capital begins to multiply by division. After 15 years, this snowball will demolish everything in its path. But to see this miracle, you must endure the first 10 years of boredom and deprivation. Do you have the spirit for that? Or will you break in the 5th year and buy yourself comfort that will end up burying you? Do you think you don't have money to invest? You tell me, "I live paycheck to paycheck. I have nothing to set aside." You are lying. You are lying to me. And worst of all, you are lying to yourself. Look at your expenses. You pay a stupidity tax every day. Take out coffee, subscriptions you don't watch, cigarettes, alcohol, impulsive junk purchases on marketplaces. You are feeding corporations instead of feeding your future. You are the perfect slave to consumption. You work to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't care about. I offer you a rebellion, the most radical rebellion of all. Stop consuming and start buying freedom. Every 1,000 rubles you didn't spend on trash but invested in an asset is your little soldier. Right now, you have a squad. In a year, a company. In 10 years, an army that will fight for you while you sleep. Do you want to be the general of your fate or cannon fodder in someone else's war? But wait, I see a new fear in your eyes. You think, what if the market crashes? What if I lose everything? That is the voice of a coward looking for an excuse for his inaction. Yes, the market will crash. It will definitely crash. It has crashed 14 times in my lifetime. And you know what? Every single time it recovered and went higher. Because humanity doesn't stand still. It creates value. Risk is not market volatility. Risk is ending up at 40 with your ass hanging out, hoping for a pension that won't exist. Risk is not having assets. Owning a piece of the global economy is not a risk. It is the only possible insurance. You must rewire your brain. A market drop isn't a catastrophe. It's a sale. When a store has a sale, you run to buy. When the market drops, you run to sell. Why? Because you are irrational. You are emotional. You are a monkey with a grenade. To build a fortress, you must kill the monkey within you and become a robot. A cold, calculating algorithm that buys assets methodically, month after month, year after year, regardless of news, wars, or panic. Do you think you've understood the plan? Buy assets, use compound interest, be disciplined. Sounds simple, right? Too simple, and that's the trap. Because between knowing the path and walking the path lies an abyss filled with your demons. Do you think the enemy is outside? That it's the crisis, inflation, the government? No. The enemy is inside. The enemy is your desire to live now. The enemy is your fear of appearing poor to your neighbors. The enemy is your laziness to understand financial reports. Building a lone fortress is a lonely path. You won't be understood. Friends will tap their temples when you refuse a Friday drinking session to buy a share in a fund. Relatives will call you a miser. Society will scream, "Consume, take a loan, live for today." You must become deaf to this noise. You must become an outcast. You must become a fanatic for your freedom. And now, as you stand before the foundation of your future fortress, holding the first brick, I must reveal the final, most terrifying secret of this stage. Even if you do everything right, even if you accumulate capital, even if you build walls to the sky, it might not be enough. Because there is one thing that money cannot buy, and without which all your assets will turn to dust in an instant. It's not luck, it's not health, it's not connections. It is the quality of your mind, which you have likely ignored for all these 40 years. Are you ready to find out what final ingredient is needed so that this plan of salvation doesn't turn into a plan for your ruin? Are you ready to look into the abyss of your own psychology and see the monster waiting there to devour all your savings in a single day? Now, look at your hands. Look closely at the skin, the veins, the joints. Right now, they are strong. They can hold a steering wheel, type on a keyboard, hold a tool. No, do you see in them what I see? Do you see how time, that relentless sculptor, has already begun its work, slowly turning granite into sand? Old age is not a golden autumn, as the pension fund brochures lie to you, where tanned, gray-haired people with perfect teeth run along the beach with Labradors. Old age without money is humiliation. It is the smell of cheap medicine. It is a coldness in the apartment that chills you to the bone because you're saving on heat. It is the look from the supermarket cashier as your trembling hands count out change, holding up the line. Do you think I'm cruel? Do you think I'm exaggerating to scare you? Oh, if only I could convey even 1/10 of the horror felt by a person who spent their whole life considering themselves middle class, only to suddenly realize they've become invisible. Poor old people do not exist for society. They are a statistical error. They are a burden. They are shadows that people try not to notice so as not to spoil their mood. Do you want to become a shadow? Do you want your grandchildren to visit you not for wisdom and gifts, but out of a sense of duty, barely hiding their disgust at the smell of poverty in your home? Do you think you have the choice to just live? You have no such choice. Life is binary code, 1 or 0, predator or prey, asset or liability. If by age 60 you have not become an owner of capital, you become a liability. First for the state, which will try to write you off the balance sheet through inflation and optimizing healthcare, and then for your own children. And this is where the most terrifying drama unfolds, compared to which Shakespeare is light reading. You love your children, right? You say you're ready to give your life for them, but if you don't take care of your own retirement, you aren't giving them your life. You are taking theirs. You will become a weight around their ankles. They will have to choose, pay for their children's education or pay for your caregiver. Do you want to be the stone that pulls your family tree to the bottom? Do you want to see not love, but tired resignation in your son's eyes when he pays your bills, tearing a piece away from his own family's future? Is this the salvation plan we were talking about? No. Salvation is not when you are saved. Salvation is when you are so strong that you can save others. Are you still waiting for me to tell you exactly where to put your last $100 to get rich by Friday? You've understood nothing. There will be no pension, not because there's no money, but because the very concept of a pension is a slave mentality. It is the idea that you, having served your term, sit on a bench and wait for the master to pour you some feed. A free man, a rational sage, does not retire. He changes his type of activity. He stops working for survival and begins managing assets for creation. Do you think I work at 99 years old because I can't afford bread? I work because creation is life and consumption is death. As soon as you tell yourself, I want to retire to rest, your brain will begin to die. Neurons will start to decay. You will turn into a vegetable before you even run out of money. My plan of salvation for you is not to accumulate a pile of money and lie on the couch. My plan is for you to use money as a tool to buy yourself the right to labor at what matters to you until your last breath, but to do it from a position of strength, not need. Do you feel your consciousness shifting? You thought we were talking about money, but we are talking about immortality, financial immortality. When you create capital, you create an entity that outlives you. You create a family bank that will feed not only you, but your children and grandchildren if you raise them right. You become a patriarch, the founder of a dynasty, not a frail dependent. Do you want your surname to be associated with success or with squalor? This is the choice you're making right now as your hand reaches either to close this video and watch entertainment trash or to take a piece of paper and write, "From this day forward, I am the sole guarantor of my future." Do you think this is melodrama? Look at me. I saw the Great Depression, I saw world wars, I saw the collapse of empires, and I know one thing. Only the paranoiacs who build the ark in clear weather survive. Those who laughed at them, who lived in the here and now, who believed in the state, their bones have long been ground by the millstones of history. But here is the final question I will leave you with, like a splinter in your brain, and you won't be able to get rid of it. Imagine yourself in 20 years. You wake up in the morning. Where are you? What do you see out the window? Who is beside you? And now, the most important part, who is paying for this breakfast? If the answer is the pension fund, then you are already dead. You just haven't fallen over yet. If the answer is my assets, then you are alive. Do you think 20 years is a long time? Blink. Just blink now. That's how your youth passed. The next time you blink, you will open your eyes as an old man. You have no time for doubt. You have no time for, I'll try tomorrow. Tomorrow is the graveyard of dreams. There is only today. Cruel, cold, demanding today. You are standing before a door. It has no handle. It only opens one way, toward responsibility. Behind this door, there are no guarantees, no insurance, no kind king. There is only the cold wind of the market economy and your will. But only there, in that wind, can you breathe deeply. You can stay here in the warm, stifling room of illusions, where you are promised care that will never come, where you are lulled by tales of social justice while your wallet is being lifted from your pocket. Does the choice seem difficult? No, it is sickeningly simple. It is the choice between dignity and a handout, between being the author of your life and being a character in the background who gets killed off in the third act to save the budget. I see fear in your eyes, and that is good. Fear is fuel. The fear of poverty has made more millionaires than all the business trainings in the world. Use this fear. Let it drive you forward. Let it force you to save, invest, study, and take risks. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. Be afraid of doing nothing, because a mistake is a lesson, but inaction is a death sentence. The court is in session, and the jury is the years of your life. The verdict will be announced when you receive your first pension check. And believe me, you do not want to hear that verdict if you haven't prepared an appeal in the form of your own capital. Now that I've taken off your rose-colored glasses and smashed them against the concrete wall of reality, I want to know who is left in the room. The children have run away to cry. The weaklings have covered their ears. Only those with a spine remain. Those ready to take the fight. Are you ready to take responsibility for yourself? Are you ready to admit that no one owes you anything? Are you ready to build your fortress stone by stone while the rest build castles in the sand? Write just 2 words in the comments, 2 short words that will separate you from the herd. Write, "I am," if you are taking the helm in your own hands and starting to build your personal pension fund today. Or write, "Waiting," if you continue to believe in miracles, in the state, in the lottery, and are prepared for your old age to smell of hopelessness. I will be reading, and I will know which of you is a predator and which is food. Time is ticking. Tick-tock.